Okay, what's going on, everybody? We're here, we're live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I'll tell you all why I'm laughing in a moment, but I'm sure if you read the title to today's stream, many of you are probably laughing with me in disbelief, given what I am getting ready to talk about. But let's go on with our usual intro before we get into things. So, if you can see and hear me clearly, please drop a one in the live chat and then we can get today's stream started. And also, if you haven't already, if you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, and you haven't made a decision on whether or not you wanted to subscribe to this channel, please do me a favor and do yourself a favor by subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button. That is the most important thing that you can do for me on this channel, because that helps in assisting to make sure that the notifications go out to those who are subscribed to the channel. And it also helps so that this video permeates throughout the YouTube algorithm, therefore pushing it out to those who are interested in this type of content. And lastly, please share this video out on your social media platforms. That has the same effects within the YouTube algorithm, but also to let everyone know that I'm currently live. So, for those of you who are here from the very beginning, you see that I'm kind of struggling to keep my composure. I've been laughing throughout the duration of the day in disbelief, just simply because of this foolishness. As I was putting this thumbnail together and just going through the information that I'm going to present to you today, I just couldn't stop laughing. And for some of you, this may not be a laughing matter, and I understand it, but I don't know what to say. The ridiculousness of it all is beyond belief. It really is. It's just beyond belief at this point. Um, but it's to be expected. It's to be expected because this is what the Democrats have been doing concerning Black Americans. So, in case you don't know, with all the issues that are plaguing the Black community, particularly in New York City, right? Particularly in New York City, as opposed to real and genuine solutions being put forward to solve these issues and to solve these problems and to close these disparities and so on and so forth. What we're looking at getting now is a Jay-Z holiday. Yeah. We're possibly going to get in New York City a Jay-Z holiday. And speaking of New York, Diane, TDNYC loves you. I love NYC as well. I've only been in New York once and I was like 6 years old. So I guess that doesn't count, right? But it's to be expected. That's to be expected because we're talking about the same Democratic Party. And I would not be surprised if the Jay-Z holiday eventually becomes a national holiday. Why would I say something like that? Why would I say something that sounds as ridiculous as the Jay-Z holiday that they're looking to pass in New York City? And I'm not going to get too deep into that right now because it's very interesting the further you go into it. But why would I say I wouldn't be surprised if this moves forward and becomes a national holiday, a national Jay-Z holiday? Well, I say that because it wouldn't be too far off from what literally the United States Senate has already done in the past. And we've discussed this many times before. And because we live in the twilight zone, at least, when you're dealing with Black politics, this stuff is a reality, right? How many of you all remember this nonsense that I'm going to show you right here? I'm sure most of you do. Senate passes bill recognizing August 11th as Hip Hop Celebration Day. Hip Hop Celebration Day, right? And, we're not going to get too deep into this article because we've discussed this numerous times before. But really think about the insanity of all this. August 11th is officially recognized as Hip Hop Celebration Day. Listen to this. By unanimous consent, the U.S. Senate passed Resolution 3311. The United States Senate can't come together to unanimously pass anything at all, nothing serious. But when it came time to troll Black America, because that's what this was. One big troll. The United States Senate was able to come together to unanimously vote to make August 11th Hip Hop Celebration Day. That is insanity. And that Hip Hop Celebration Day went on to complement August also being the month of Hip Hop Recognition Month, and November being Hip Hop History Month. This is what we've gotten from, the Biden administration. We voted blue no matter who. Well, I didn't. You all did who are watching me right now. Voted blue no matter who, and got a bunch of holidays. Got a bunch of hip hop holidays, and a couple of George Floyd statues across the country. And that was it. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying really hard to keep my composure. Because this is all so stupid. It's all so stupid. But this is what we get. But before I go deeper into the Jay-Z holiday, right? Before we get more into the Jay-Z holiday, first, no, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Okay. But before this is going to be a hard show to get through today. Please hit the like button. There's 281 of you in the live stream right now. Please hit the like button. This is all so stupid. But before we get off too deep, right, into the Jay-Z holiday, before we get off into that, I want to first lead with this right here, because prior to the introduction of the Jay-Z holiday, which isn't law yet, it's not something that has passed yet. Jay-Z holiday is just something that was simply, introduced, right? Before that was brought to the table, our good friend, our big homie, Al Sharpton, had a representative Terry A. Sewell, I believe her last name is, on his show. And what she introduced is a Rosa Parks holiday. This is a sitting congresswoman now. Who, on top of all of the hip hop holidays that we got 3 hip hop holidays, about 2 George Floyd statues. Oh, yes. Also, don't forget, we did get that Martin Luther King statue as well. Remember the Martin Luther King statue, the one where it was like of his arms hugging Coretta Scott King? We got 2 George Floyd statues and a Martin Luther King statue of just his arms. Go figure. And now what this congresswoman is introducing and wanting to bring into existence is a Rosa Parks holiday. And I'm going to read this tweet that she put up right here, and it reads as such. The tweet reads, "I joined Reverend Al Sharpton on MSNBC to discuss my bill to make Rosa Parks Day a new federal holidays. All other groups are getting very specific pieces of legislation and resources that are going exclusively to them to take care of the issues, problems, and or ills or concerns of their communities. And we in Black America are getting holiday after holiday after holiday. So now what I want to do for you is play this quick clip of her talking to Al Sharpton on MSNBC. And let's just take a moment to hear what she actually had to say. But before I do that, big shout out to friend of the channel, our brother Rob, Blacklight Revelation 2, for the support, being the first person to support tonight's stream. Rob said, offering a day off for everyone instead of a day where Black Americans get paid tax-free double time is boo-boo and should lose Democrats any votes. I 100% agree with you. Just offering up mad holiday instead of reparations, what they're trying to do is give Black folks a bunch of days off, and they feel like that's the same thing. Apparently, that's what the Democrats think. If we can make all these holidays to give Black Americans all these days off, well, then that would be the equivalent of giving the descendants of American slavery, Black Americans, descendants of slavery, reparations. I think that's the logic of the Democratic Party. I think that's where they're going with this. And also, shout out to Walter Wilborn as well for being the second person to contribute to today's stream. Thank you all for showing me love and support on this channel. It is deeply appreciated. Now, let's get into what this woman actually had to say to Al Sharpton. So I'm going to pull this up on the screen right now.
No, Rev, Friday was the 68th anniversary of Rosa Parks' arrest, and her peaceful resistance really sparked not only the Montgomery bus boycott, but the civil rights movement, and I dare say the human rights movement that's been global. And so I believe that she deserves her rightful place in American history, and that is to also be honored with a federal holiday. You know, there have not been a federal holiday that's been named after a woman at all. We have 11 federal holidays, and half of them are named for men and none for women. And I think that it would be befitting, especially.
It would be befitting after having our first Indian vice president and Kamala Harris. The next thing to follow up would be with, you know, a national holiday named after a woman.
Now on the 68th anniversary that we honor Rosa Parks with a Rosa Parks Day, a federal holiday. And so I'm excited about it. We in the Congressional Black Caucus held a press conference in which we talked about why this was so important and how
the Congressional Black Caucus held a press conference discussing why this was so important. So once again, when you consider all of the ills, problems, and issues plaguing the Black community, all of the disparities within Black America, when you compare Black America to everybody else in the country, the Congressional Black Caucus got together and discussed the importance of a Rosa Parks national holiday. That's what you need right now, Rosa Parks national holiday. I'm going to take a quick poll in the live chat. How many of you all believe that what Black America desperately needs is a Rosa Parks national holiday? If you believe that we need a Rosa Parks national holiday, put a 1 in the live chat. And if you believe that we don't, drop a 2 in the live chat as we finish this video clip out.
We talked about why we honor Rosa Parks with a Rosa Parks Day, a federal holiday. And so I'm excited about it. We in the Congressional Black Caucus held a press conference in which we talked about why this was so important and how this is will be a priority for the CBC.
This is a priority for the Congressional Black Caucus. A Rosa Parks national holiday is a priority, given all the problems that we're dealing with in this country as a community. That is mind-blowing. But here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing. And let me remove this from the stream right now and bring this woman back up. And shout out to our good brother, Black Logic. I appreciate you for coming through and being the third person to support today's stream, Black Logic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Black Logic says, great work, brother. Love the transition and new template. I appreciate it, Black Logic. And I want to make a confession of Black Logic. Black Logic, I was watching your Monday stream, your Money Monday stream. So I'm watching you, brother. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Okay. I was in your I didn't comment, but I was watching. So shout out to Black Logic for coming through. Now, what I want to do, right? I just want to pull up a little information concerning, I believe her name is Terry, right? Let me make this a little bigger so you all can see this better. And let me remove this from the screen. Once again, thank you, Black Logic, and thank you to everybody who contributes to today's show, who contributed to today's show. Representative Terry A. Swell. I believe I'm pronouncing her last name correct. Hopefully I am. Swell, right? She is a congresswoman representing Alabama's 7th district. And she is also, obviously, as she just stated, a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. Now, we can sit here and make comments and joke and kind of laugh and poo and wag our finger at the Congressional Black Caucus and all of the foolishness that comes from that comes from within the Congressional Black Caucus. And that's fine. That has its place as it pertains to just simply discussing the matters as we're doing now. But at a certain point, we have to move forward from just simply discussing these matters to doing something about it. What are we going to do about it concerning this woman and many others within the Congressional Black Caucus? That's what we're going to get into right now. And I want to pull up, like I said, some information concerning her. And it's nothing too deep and it's nothing personal. But I want to highlight this here. This is her district, Alabama's 7th Congressional District, right? And when you come to the demographics, let me scroll. Let me zoom in just a little bit. When you see the demographics here, it's 57% Black, 36% white, 4% Hispanic, 1.5% Asian, 1.3% Native American, 0.1% Pacific Islander Americans, right? What's my point of bringing this up and running down the demographics? At the moment, as it stands, in her district, Black Americans are still in control. And if Black Americans are still in control, that means you still have a very strong shot of influencing that district to not just simply remove her and, quote, vote her out. Because, yes, she needs to be voted out. But you have a very strong chance of being able to get your guy in, whoever that guy or woman may be. That just simply depends upon the organization strategy that you all have. I can't tell you who should be running in her place because I don't live there. I'm not in Alabama. I'm in Los Angeles. But while you still have the numbers, are there any organization efforts happening within that district to remove her? And I have to stress, while you still have the numbers. Because in between the migrant crisis, and really just with the migrant crisis alone, and the efforts to push on America non-citizen voting in cities all across the country, and the efforts of the Democratic Party to push forth a widespread amnesty bill that just allows a quick pathway to citizenship for all illegal immigrants, you won't have the numbers much longer. And I know those of you who are in the South, like those of you who are in Alabama, you think that you're not going to be affected by any of this kind of stuff concerning the migrant crisis, but you will. You will. And if you continue to fall asleep at the wheel, as many of us have, the majority of us, then your fate will be that of being completely erased and removed, to which your votes won't matter anymore and you won't have the numbers anymore. This is happening in Chicago right now, by the way. This is happening in Chicago right now. I did videos on this, I believe it was about a year or two ago, maybe a year to a year and a half ago. Some of you may remember this, but how many of you remember the videos that I did on the political fight that is, between the Black Caucus in Chicago versus the Hispanic Caucus in Chicago, where they were fighting for who gets the most districts? There was a redistricting war happening in Chicago. And long story short, the Black Caucus of Chicago was able to win that battle. But come 2030, when the new census numbers come out, it's going to be a bloodbath concerning how Hispanics will have outnumbered Black Americans in Chicago, to which the Hispanic caucus is going to come back for blood, metaphorically speaking, that is, as it pertains to redistricting Chicago's map in order for them to gain more control. After 2030, hear me clearly, Black Americans will have pretty much lost Chicago as it pertains to your voting power and the stranglehold that you currently have over the city. Because right now, as we speak, Chicago, if organized correctly, Black Chicagoans could actually really take over a lot of the city as it pertains to their districts and neighborhoods that they control. It's just that we're asleep at the wheel and not taking this stuff as seriously as we should. And if our brothers and sisters in Alabama don't get to it and don't organize accordingly, and don't share this video out with your brothers and sisters in Alabama so they know what's going on, then you'll fall under the same fate as Chicago is. All right. But once again, for the moment, while you still have the numbers, you got to do something about it. Got to do something about it. Thank you very much to We Call BS Podcast. That is a great name for a podcast. We Call BS Podcast. Thank you very much, We Call BS Podcast, for being the fourth person to contribute to today's stream. I appreciate all the support shown on this channel. I truly do. That is not something that I just say just to be saying it. It is very humbling, and I thank you all very much. Now, let's move on and move forward to the Jay-Z holiday. That's what I want to do next. I want to move on and move forward into the Jay-Z holiday. So give me a moment while I pull this article up. And as I'm pulling this article up, there are 526 of you all in the live stream right now. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, because that is extremely important and will help send out more notifications so everyone knows that I am currently live. Once again, as I'm pulling this article up, do me a favor and please hit that like button. And where is this article at? Here we go. There we are. Okay. I think I can get rid of this now. So let's get into it. This website is it's the Black Enterprise website where this news is coming from, and they have so much going on their site that is having me lag over here now. So let me get through this article very quickly, because there's some information that I want to get into concerning the woman who introduced the Jay-Z holiday, right? So let's jump into this very quickly. Let me remove myself from the screen and let's talk about this. So here we are. And also, I forgot to tell you all, everything that you've seen on your screen so far, all of the tweets, all of the articles, the links to everything is in the description box below, if you so choose to read these articles and go through this information for yourself. Okay. But here we are. Resolution for Jay-Z Day introduced by New York City Councilwoman. New York City Councilwoman Farah Louis, who represents Brooklyn, has introduced a resolution to officially recognize Jay-Z Day on December 4th, the hip-hop icon and billionaire mogul's birthday. The global phenomenon that is Jay-Z, born Sean Carter, is widely known as an artist, mogul, husband, and father, wealth builder, and supporter of economic development and community causes, stated Lewis, as reported by the New York Post, December 4th, by the New York Post, period. December 4th, as Jay-Z Day, announces to the world how this Brooklyn son can be all things, establishing an annual celebration to recognize a homegrown hero while proclaiming a municipal support. Our municipal support is fitting. Now I have to ask the question begs once again, right? Is this what Black New Yorkers need? If Black New Yorkers, for all my New Yorkers that are in the live chat right now, if what you all need is a Jay-Z holiday, drop a 1 in the live chat. If you don't need a Jay-Z holiday, drop a 2 in the live chat. Let me know. I'm curious. Maybe this is what you want. I don't know. This is who you elected as a city councilwoman. You guys elected her. So you tell me whether or not you actually need a Jay-Z holiday. I don't think that you do. I think it's quite foolish, but maybe you think otherwise. I don't live in New York. I live in Los Angeles. So what do I know, right? What do I know? But what I do know is that as far as I'm concerned, all of this hip hop talk is very insulting coming from these politicians. 3 hip hop holidays, one unanimously voted for in the Senate. And you have this Jay-Z holiday now being introduced in New York. Apparently, this is going to be great for Black New Yorkers. And don't forget also, Eric Adams, about a year to a year and a half ago, broke ground on the Hip Hop History Museum. And if I remember correctly, the purpose of the Hip Hop History Museum was to curb gun violence. How many of you all think a Hip Hop History Museum is what's needed in New York to curb gun violence? That was what he stated. That was the purpose of it. So apparently hip hop is what's going to save the Black community. At least that's what the Democrats think. Because they don't offer you up any serious, tangible solutions. The only thing that they offer up to you is a bunch of hip hop holidays, a hip hop history museum, and now a Jay-Z holiday on top of George Floyd statues. That's all we've gotten so far. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone sometimes when I'm reporting on this stuff. But the reality is that we're not in the Twilight Zone. This is real life. This is real life. But what I want to do now, I want to introduce to you the woman who introduced this holiday. I want to take a moment to introduce her to you all. So let me pull this up. And shout out to our good brother, Dante Fortson. What's going on, Dante? I'm a subscriber of Dante Fortson's channel. Shout out to the True Yahoo Dean. What y'all know about? Y'all don't know about the True Yahoo Dean. Y'all know nothing about the True Yahoo Dean. Shout out to the True Yahoo Dean, man. Dante Fortson said, sometimes we just got to laugh at how ridiculous our people are for continuing to vote for Democrats. You just got, you do. You just got to laugh. You just got to laugh, man, because it gets so ridiculous. It gets so ridiculous. You're 100% right, Dante. Now, let's get into the woman who actually introduced this, right? That's what I want to do right now. I want to get into the woman who actually introduced this bill. Shout out to Jimmy Jam. They don't know nothing about the guy. They don't know what the True Yahoo Dean is. They don't know, Jimmy. They don't know. They don't know, Jimmy. They don't know. Let's get into this right now. Let me pull this up on the screen. Y'all sleep. Y'all don't know what's going on out here. But this is the woman right here. This is her. And let me make this a little bit bigger so you all can see who this is. And there are 546 of you all in the live stream. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. But this is Farah Louis, and she's the woman who introduced the Jay-Z bill. You can't see it right now. Let me zoom in a little bit more. But this is also the same woman. This is also the same woman. Let me just go to the other screen. This is also the same woman who sponsored the bill to promote non-citizen voting in New York City. A bill that actually passed, but was struck down by New York State Supreme Court. She was a sponsor of this bill. She voted for this bill. Once again, all links to everything that's on your screen is in the live chat, as in the description box below if you want to look this all up for yourself. But this is the bill right here, INT 1867-2020. The name of the bill is allowing lawful permanent residents and persons authorized to work in the United States in New York City to participate in municipal elections. The same woman that offered you up a Jay-Z holiday is also the same woman who was one of many sponsors of the non-citizen voting bill. And she voted for this to pass, which it did. But fortunately, it was struck down by New York State Supreme Court. Now, what am I getting at with all this right now? Once again, we can make videos, We can discuss these issues and the situations. We can talk about it all day long. We can laugh a little bit like we have. You can all discuss it in the live chat and on Twitter, so on and so forth. But then the question becomes, what are we going to do about it? Especially in New York. This is really serious, especially in New York, right? Once again, I'm going to go to the demographics of her district. Farah Louis represents New York City District 45. This is the district that she represents. And look at this here. Let me zoom in. The demographics of that district is 76% Black. 76%. 11% white, 8% Hispanic, 3% Asian, and 3% other. While you still have the numbers, especially in New York City, are the people of the 45th district, Black Americans that is, going to organize accordingly to remove this woman with your guy and or girl? And it's important that I say that, right? And I meant to make this point earlier, but then I kind of lost train of thought. It's not good enough for these people to just simply get voted out just to be voted out, right? But you didn't have anything to do with it. Because when that's the case, what you get is a Brandon Johnson in Chicago. Everybody was celebrating when Lori Lightfoot, right? Remember, Uncle Lightfoot was kicked out, was simply removed from her duties as mayor of Chicago. And you got somebody 10 times worse as her replacement in the city. This is what happens when you fall asleep at the wheel. And you just say, well, he's going to be a one-term mayor. Well, this woman who's the city councilwoman of the 45th district in New York City looks like she's going to be a one-term city councilman. That sounds good, but if you didn't replace her with your guy or your girl, then what does it all mean? So I can't stress enough, while you still have the numbers in the 45th district, share this with your brothers and sisters out in New York, particularly those who live in this district. This district comprises of East Flatbush and Flatbush in Brooklyn, also covering Flatbush. It keeps saying Flatbush. Let me just read the sentence. District 45 is based in East Flatbush and Flatbush and oh my goodness. Take two. District 45 is based in East Flatbush and Flatlands in Brooklyn, also covering parts of Flatbush, Midwood, Marion Park, and Kingston. Kingston, whatever. You all got it. The point is while you still have the numbers, what are you going to do about it? Because especially when we're talking about New York City and you're talking about the migrant crisis that is ravishing New York City, stripping you of all your resources, over 100,000 plus has come into your city. Understand that non-citizen voting bill, they're battling that out in court right now. That's being battled out in court. So though the New York State Supreme Court struck it down, it's still being battled out in court as we speak in the higher courts, right? And if that gets turned around, you've lost your power. In between the migrant crisis in New York and potential future gentrification, it's only a matter of time till you lose that district. So while you have it, what are you going to do about it? Or you're going to fall asleep at the wheel like our brothers and sisters in Chicago did for so many years, no disrespect, and lose control of your city. But then when it gets serious about it, when it's kind of borderline too late, You can't let that be the case, especially in these districts and areas where you still have the numbers. So then once again, the question becomes, what are we going to do about all this? Are we just going to make videos and then, comment about it and put up tweets? Or are those in that district, the 45th district of New York City, or those in I believe it was the 7th district of Alabama, while you have the numbers, are you all going to organize accordingly and get serious about changing things around? If you're not, well, you can expect more hip hop holidays, Jay-Z holiday, hip hop history museum, George Floyd statues, and more, until you're just completely casted away into, irrelevance, because your votes don't mean anything anymore, at least on a local level, because your votes have been watered down and washed out due to the migrant crisis and the aggressive push by Democrats in these cities for non-citizen voting. Once again, I'm going to repeat it one last time. While you still have the numbers, what are you going to do about it? That's my question for you all. And I'll leave you with that. And with all that being said, that does it for today's stream. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Thank you to everybody who contributed to today's stream. Shout out to Tom Slick. I appreciate you, Tom Slick, showing love, being the 6th person to contribute to today's stream. Tom Slick said, lip service is no service. TD work is amazing. Dante, TD work is amazing. Dante, so we can keep donate. I'm thinking about Dante Fortson. Donate so we can keep getting his work. I appreciate you, Tom Slick. Yes, please donate so we can keep getting this work, because it definitely helps. It truly does. It's not something that I say just to be saying. And also shout out to James Woods. I appreciate you, James Woods, for your contribution to today's stream. Once again, please hit the like button on your way out. If you didn't know, now you know. Also, because of what you see right here at the bottom of your screen, I am also on Rumble, so follow me on Rumble at TD Media Group. I'm currently simulcasting on YouTube and Rumble right now. And also, lastly, if you haven't already, follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram page is pinned in the live chat. It's in the description box below, and it will be pinned in the comment section after the stream ends. So with all that being said, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Hit the like button on your way out and have a great evening. Peace and good night.